Okay, so what we want to look at in this section is continuity, like where graphs are continuous and discontinuous, where do they stream together seamlessly, and where do they have open places, holes, leaps, jumps, asymptotes. Those are places where we're going to be discontinuous. And if I ask you about this graph right here, you'll notice that we are going to be continuous everywhere that we don't have a hole or a jump. So I'll just highlight real quick places where we're continuous. From this solid circle around to this guy right here. From this open circle to this guy all the way around to this. From the open circle all the way around to that endpoint. So these are places where we are continuous. We are discontinuous right here. This is a point of discontinuity. And we're discontinuous right here. This is also a point of discontinuity. Okay, both of these are jump discontinuities. And so what we do to determine continuity is we look at the limit as we approach some interior point. And if we're continuous, then we have a limit on the interior point. And at that limit, we have a specific number that matches. So in other words, if we look at the function, something easy like say f of x equals 2x plus 3, and I want to know what's going on as x approaches 2, then I can put 2 in for that x, and it becomes the same thing as f of 2. And if the limit is the same thing as f of 2, which in this case is 7, then I am continuous. It's continuous at an endpoint if the function equals an endpoint from approaching the correct way. So if I look at like as x approaches a from the positive side, that would be like on this guy right here. This is an endpoint where we're continuous all the way to that endpoint. Because if I look at that function at that spot, if I look at f of 2, do I get that function at that same limit? And these are easier to see when you dig into problems, but notice the difference between this function right here and that open hole right there. That is not continuous, because as you come in from the right, we go to a place where we can't define our function at that specific point. The same thing as you're coming in from the left. This guy right here is continuous because we are defined at that point, and this spot right here is discontinuous because we are not defined at that point. So that's how you look at continuity on endpoints. By the way, for another endpoint, we are discontinuous here, we are not continuous, and we are continuous here. So those are your ways that you look for continuity.